Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, I want to talk about something that I think is important, especially when it concerns the stock market and what we're expecting, what we're hoping for, what we are preparing for. And we've been saying for some time there's going to be the mother of all crashes that is coming, and it's going to be a great financial opportunity. And so during this whole process, especially right now, we're at the point where we're waiting for things to go where they're supposed to go on the upside concerning the stock market and the crypto market. Who knows when this is going to come, but I want to share with you some information that could change our strategy and how we do things, and maybe how we're going to use what I'm getting ready to show you to our advantage and why we have set things up in the way that we have, right? Because we're getting ready to show you who really controls the markets and how they control it and how they can see everything that we are doing, especially out there in the public space. Now, first, folks, I'm not a financial advisor, and if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and comment section. Now, there's a number that I want you to pay attention to, and that is the number 80%. Like I said, we've been warning about this major stock market crash, the great reset and so on, and along the way, we're doing what we can to make money and to put ourselves in a position to benefit from it, right? When things seem at their worst, so that we could do the work for the kingdom of God, for our family and for our businesses, for some people to get out of debt and to do things that they never thought they would be able to do. And that God is positioning his people, not just the saved, but also to the unsaved, because it rains on the just as well as the unjust. And this wealth transfer is for anyone who is participating. And there's a lot more unbelievers than believers participating in the stock and crypto markets. That's for sure. Now, as a marker, today is April the 11th, and the Dow is currently at 39,994. And so when it comes to the prophetic, we've had some prophetic words about the dinar causing the Dow to go to 20,000, right? So the Dow has to be below 20,000. Other people have seen it below 6,000, between 4,000 and 6,000. So we are preparing for that moment. And it's not just what I believe, what prophecy is saying. It's what the world has been saying. They've been talking about the Great Reset for a long time. Now, this article here that came out April the 7th, the stock market will go down 80% when this is over, says bearish investor Mark Spitznagel. Spitznagel believes we haven't entered the main event and recent stock market plunge is just a trap. So what we've seen with the stock market plunge is just a trap, right? And why does he say this? This is another sell-off to shake people out. This isn't Armageddon. That time will come as the bubble burst, he wrote. All right, so he's saying that this is not the time. Don't look for it right now. Of course, we're prepared either way. But this isn't the time when things are going to crash really bad. Now, he's saying 80%. And I want to show you a couple headlines. Remember I told you about the 80%? And there's two articles, one from December of 2018, and it reads, sell-offs could be down to machines that control 80% of the U.S. stock market, fund manager says. So this was back in 2018, right? So machines control 80% of the stock market. So basically controlling when we're going up and down. This article here, 80% of the stock market is now on autopilot. 80%. Is on autopilot. That means 80% of the stock market right now that you see is basically being controlled by computers. And the people that are behind them programming it, allowing it to control the majority of the stock market. And so when we have incidents like the whole AMC and GME and the short squeezes and everything, they did everything they could to prevent this because the computers probably didn't know how to react in that certain way. And so a lot of hedge funds did lose a lot of money. They've gained it all back by now, I'm sure. But you can see this picture that I have. I have this picture here where I incorporate those two news articles with these bots that I use ChatGPT to create. Sell-offs could be down to machines that control 80%. So you can see the bots, they're freaking out, right? And then the article of the 80% of the stock market is now on autopilot, and you got the bots celebrating, right? These are the trading bots that are controlling the markets. They are programmed to make money. So when people are asking who's selling, it's the computers that the hedge funds and financial institutions set up to do their trading. You really think that they're having people sit at computers and doing all the trading that they do? No, they do not. Now, I want to share with you something that we need to go back to history and look at, because God has given us a strategy of low buy limit orders, sell high limit orders, and so on, right? So that when these computers start messing up, because that's what it's going to come down to, right? To allow these flash crashes to happen. That's how we are taking advantage of this current system, because eventually those computer bots are going to fail. And they're going to dump so hard, it's going to push everything to zero, whether it's in the stock market or the crypto markets, especially the crypto markets. I believe that they will push everything to zero in both markets, but only for a very short period of time. We're talking about seconds in a flash crash. Now, this article here, how social media moves markets, analyzing GameStop using social listening data. This is January the 28th of 2021. Right, so after the whole fiasco with GameStop and AMC, right, this is what they are doing now. Okay, I want you guys to listen to this, because this is important in understanding of how they are combating retail. This goes along with them using these computers to do their trading.
You are benefiting from the interest, the retail interest in investing. And where I'm going with this is GameStop, some of the other things that we're seeing in different areas of the market, whether it's IPO speculation as well, some of these new issues that have doubled or tripled right after coming public. You are there to benefit from that. But is it healthy? Adina, what's your feeling on what we're seeing right now?
Well, we definitely have seen a significant increase in retail participation in the markets throughout the year, both in equities and in options. I think that when we look at the role of the exchanges, our role is to match the buyers and sellers and to provide a proper and accurate reflection of supply and demand in a stock or an option at any given period. I think when we look at our larger role as a self-regulatory organization, we also really do focus on making sure that the activity in the market is legitimate activity, and that if there is any sort of manipulation going on, that we root it out and we eliminate it from the market. So that is also part of our role. I think when it comes to some of the latest activities that we've seen, I'm not going to comment on any particular listings, particularly those that are not listed on our exchange. But I think that in general, when we evaluate how we would manage through a situation where you see a significant run-up in a stock that's not based on news, that's not based on fundamentals, what we do is we do have technology that evaluates social media chatter. And if we see a significant rise in the chatter on social media channels, and then we also match that up against unusual trading activity, we will potentially halt that stock to allow ourselves to investigate the situation, to be able to engage with the company, and to give investors a chance to recalibrate their positions. And then if we do think or contemplate that there may be some manipulation, we then engage with FINRA and the SEC to evaluate and investigate that.
This is what she said. We have the technology that evaluates social media chatter and match that up against unusual trading activity. We will potentially halt that stock. And she talked about how allowing investors, if they halt a stock, allowing investors to recalibrate their position. So if, say, 200 or 300 of us get together and we decide to buy into a stock, and we all start buying, right? And next thing you know it goes up 500%, they could halt it. And because they said it's not based on fundamentals or anything like that. But what this does is it denies the right of investors to be able to come together and talk about what stock they want to buy, and then go ahead and buy it without interference from Nasdaq on halting that stock. They're going to halt the stock because they don't know what's going on, right? They don't know why this particular stock is going up, but it's all in the name of trying to weed out fraud. When the hedge funds control the markets with computers, they control all the FUD now, and they can see everything that everybody is talking about and investing in. And the hedge funds use this stuff. They all do this with the social media. So say, for instance, if there's a trading group of 200, 300 people, they invest in a stock, and then it gets out on Twitter, and then the stock begins to rise. Then the AI that is using the listening data, that's funneled to BlackRock and their trading computers, right? So they can jump in, push the price up, and then immediately short the stock, right? So these are the things that they can do. These are the same people that halted AMC and GameStop every few minutes, but allowed Chinese stocks to skyrocket without being halted. If you talk about a stock on Twitter, they know about it. They watch everything that is being said about what everybody's investing in and what they're doing. This is the number one reason why, especially if you run a group, any group, whether it's on Telegram, Facebook, Discord, whatever, that you make sure that that is put on private and vet everyone, right? Just don't allow anybody just to join, because that's how they watch those private groups. Public groups, they don't have to join. Some of them you probably have to do to watch everything, but mostly everything is out in the public. So if the community overall did a better job of keeping certain things more private, they're not going to see a lot of this information out there unless they got a bot that's in your group. So you should be going through your group, getting rid of all the people that are not active, vetting everyone right before they come in. You could do that like on Facebook, right? You can make them answer questions and all this stuff. But from other things that I've read, they're involved in watching all of those trading groups. So going back to how we take advantage of this, this is why we have low buy limit orders and sell limit orders and so on. And this is what we are banking on to happen when the major crash happens, right? We all know it's coming. We've been saying it for years, right? And in the meantime, we're working the ups and downs in investing in crypto and doing all these other things until this time period comes. The crypto community is fractured. We used to have a lot of these leaders, during right before the Biden administration took over, that were leaders in the crypto community, and Biden took all those guys out for the most part. And then there's some of these people that got caught up into the Hollywood stuff and kind of forgot about the mission of being part of a crypto community that had leaders, not necessarily appointed leaders, but they really helped the crypto community move. And one by one, the majority of them fell to different things. So just as an example, when you have somebody like BitBoy, right, who was a powerhouse in the crypto community, and then he got into the whole Hollywood thing, and then he just fell like a rock. They removed that stumbling block that was exposing all these things that were happening in the crypto markets. And look what happened to him. And there's been many other influencers over time that have fallen, right, that were kind of like a pillar in the community that helped shine the light on certain things. Most of the YouTubers, they're trying to pump the next coin. They're trying to pump everything regardless of what the charts say. There's a lot of people who are just doing things for show. They're not really interested in really, truly bringing the community together, the crypto community. Bitcoin investors fighting over about what should be in the strategic reserve, fighting against the XRP people and so on. All these things are orchestrated, folks. And when people say, why is the market selling off? Who's selling whatever? It's because most of it is controlled by computers and bots, trading bots. Most of the holders are not selling. Yeah, the swing traders are selling. That's normal. So it's not retail that's just dumping. Some of them are dumping out of fear because they're falling for these false news articles and these people promoting fear. A lot of these, especially Twitter influencers, are promoting fear. Every time there's negative news, they want to put out this fear. A lot of you guys are chasing dreams. You're still chasing the $10,000 XRP dreams. You're still chasing these different cryptos being at different prices and stuff down the road in the future. And while you guys are wasting your time chasing a lot of these different dreams, right? I'm talking about chasing every single day. You got to have something new. You got to, some other new dream or vision or something that is absolutely useless to you. Because first of all, most of the people that are involved in the wealth transfer are buyers and holders. So it doesn't even matter. You're wasting your time when you could be prepping yourself for a bigger windfall than just, I'm selling my stock at this price. It's much more than that. And people need to learn, seriously how to trade, and need to start looking at options and looking at other things that is going to help you benefit in this wealth transfer. Learning how to trade some of the different markets, and putting yourself in the position for that. Because a lot of these people are going to make it seem like all these Christians are going to get this wealth. And it's not going to happen in that way if you are not putting yourself in the position. But if you're just buying and you're just holding, instead of chasing all these prophetic dreams that now it seems like every single day we are repeating 2022 again. But you guys are wasting your time watching videos when you could be learning how to trade better instead of just buying and holding. And maybe not everybody's in that position, but if you're chasing and watching all these dreams all the time and you're not learning how to trade options, options is a good way to trade without having a whole lot of money. And a lot of people could be taking advantage of that. Some of you are worried, I'm not going to be able to buy these stocks. You guys have more options than what you realize. And you need to learn how to trade options. And if you really want to expand yourself in this wealth transfer, then you're going to expand yourself into trading futures and commodities and all these other things. It's not required, but the world is going to be trading those. Now, this is a question to ponder. How many times have you seen in the past 4 years the crypto markets crash based off of fake news? I've seen it multiple times. Not as much as in the stock market. Now, there was some fake news in the stock market, I believe last year or the year before. I can't remember when, where some fake news caused the stock markets to flash crash. It happens way more frequently in the crypto markets than it does the stock market. When crypto drops, when all the cryptos drop, they all drop at the same time and the pattern all looks the same. And the same thing when it goes back up. So we know it's manipulated and controlled. And guess what? Now that all these hedge funds are trading crypto, the same thing. So I just wanted to share this information. I think it's important, it's vital, and we're getting closer and closer, folks. And many of you have only prepared in one way, and that's just buying and holding, right? And I am encouraging you, if you can, to expand more, right? If you could sit there and watch prophecy videos all day, you could sit there and watch trading videos all day to make yourself a better trader, to be a better steward over the finances that God is going to give to you, right? You're going to have even more. And for those of you, again, I'm going to say this, people who don't have as much money can trade options. All right, so I encourage you to start researching those videos. Anyways, folks, that is all that I have for this today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.